Let's see. Okay, so we're recording now. Welcome to our workplace wellness session. Today's session is going to be kind of a review, putting together some of the mindfulness menu and movement things that we have talked about. We've talked about so far. We're going to schedule another additional session for next week, and Suzanne Fry will be presenting on anxiety and dealing with anxiety with COVID as we return more to normal. So as we have a beautiful sunny weekend ahead of us, in the comments, if you'd like to comment on something that you like to do outside, something maybe you're planning to do this weekend, we will be entering you into our prize drawing, and we'll be setting a date for that prize drawing in the next couple days, and then working to draw names for the prizes and getting them to people on campuses. So all of that is coming up very soon, but we will have one more session again next week. So we'll wait until after that to do the drawing. So today I thought that I would go ahead and start out with a little bit on mindfulness. I'm not sure how much that you have explored the mindfulness cards, but we'll go ahead and visit a mindful card here. In the stack of cards that we have, and even if you don't have these cards, there are mindfulness links on our wellness page on the website, so you can visit those for some mindfulness tips too. Here's a card, and it says, see as I get it on the screen there, it says clear your mind. And the person is doing yoga, and they're looking at their toes, and they say, oh, but I have ugly toes. And I thought of how many times do we try to clear our mind, and then we get distracted very easily by different things that we have going on. Here's another one from the mindfulness cards. It says, worrying won't stop the bad stuff from happening. It just stops you from enjoying the good. So we have that one there, and I think that happens sometimes as well too, that we're trying to be mindful, trying to be positive, and then occasionally worrying just kind of takes that over. And along those same lines, this is another card from the deck that says mindful or mindful. And the person here, they have their mind full of things in one scenario, and in the other one, the one over here, we actually have them looking at their surroundings, enjoying their surroundings, and being present in that moment. So I'd like to look at one of the cards here that's titled Just One Breath, and this is an easy mindful exercise that we can do anytime. At any time during the day, take a moment to focus on one breath. Breathe in, then breathe out. Focus your attention on how this feels, where you notice the air moving, how your chest and your abdomen move. Try it now. Breathe in, then breathe out. In doing this, you're not looking for revelation from this experience. Think of it more like a little mental push-up for your mind. That's it. But if you want to do it a few times during the day, you can, and it's something very easy to do, just focusing on your breathing, not focusing on the to-do list, not focusing on how slow your computer's loading, not focusing on the information you're waiting on to complete that one project that you really want to get done, but you're waiting on information from other people. You're focusing on that just one breath. So that's a little review from mindfulness that we've talked about before in previous sessions. Now I've got a few links that I want to share, and one of them has to do with the things that we drink. If we think back to Abby had given us a few presentations, and if we think back to Abby's presentations, in both of the ones that she gave on nutrition, she had talked about we don't want to drink our calories. When we're thinking about what it is that we're eating and drinking, we don't want to drink our calories. So I found this is a chart, and I will post this on our workplace wellness page, the link here. How much sugar do you drink? And here we've got a number of drinks and how much sugar is in those drinks. And we can see the Arizona green tea with honey, 10 teaspoons of sugar, Coca-Cola Classic, 15 teaspoons of sugar, Minute Maid apple juice, 11. We've got the Dunkin' Donuts strawberry fruit colada, 14 teaspoons. The Gatorades, we've got a Gatorade and a vitamin water that both have 8. And as I was looking at this earlier, I thought, we can think about the teaspoons of sugar, but then what does that really look like? So from there, I got a container and I put, this is the 18 teaspoons of sugar. This is the 18 teaspoons of sugar that they mentioned the Mountain Dew having in it. You can see this container is much larger than a soda bottle would be, or a cup that we would normally drink out of. But that's a lot of sugar. And that amount is in the 20-ounce Mountain Dew. And if we think about it, just changing what we drink, it can change the way we feel, because when we consume a lot of sugar, a lot of times we don't feel well. And yeah, that 20-ounce Mountain Dew, that is a lot of sugar there. So I'll put it a little bit closer there to the camera. So one thing that we can do when we're looking at what we're drinking is if we go back to the document here talking about the amount of sugar and things, if we want to change the amount of sugar that we're consuming, we can see on here that water has 0 teaspoons of sugar. That's awesome. And I know I drink a lot of water. I enjoy drinking a lot of water, but I also know that not everybody likes just drinking water. And that's where water infusion recipes are awesome. So this is a link from the West Virginia Extension Services Family Nutrition Program. And they provide lots of examples here of ways that you can create water infusion recipes for you to use, and to make your water taste a little bit different, to mix it up. And you may even have one of our New River water bottles that has the little infusion piece with it. And here are some things that you can put in it. They've got blackberry mint, blue orange basil, citrus, pineapple orange, raspberry lime. There's really so many different ways that you can add flavor to your water. And you're not adding any sugar to your water when you do this. I also found a video on some recipes that we'll look at.
Than water, flavor infused water. Making your own infused water is, for the most part, calorie-free and is a refreshing way to stay hydrated. For a delicious cucumber water, simply add 2 thinly sliced medium cucumbers into a pitcher. Cover with ice and fill with water. Still want a little more flavor to your cucumber water? Simply add half a lime, 6 or more sprigs of cilantro, and infuse for 4 to 8 hours and serve cold. For a sweet orange and blueberry water, add 3 mandarin oranges cut into wedges, 2 handfuls of berries into a pitcher. Cover with ice and fill the pitcher with water. Make sure to let it sit overnight to infuse. For more unique infused water, fill a pitcher halfway with water. Gently push into the water 2 sliced grapefruits with the rinds removed, 2 sprigs of rosemary, and cover with ice. Add water to fill the pitcher. It's okay to be generous with the rosemary, so feel free to experiment. Let it sit overnight in the refrigerator before serving. This simple recipe only calls for half a lemon and half a lime, thinly sliced, and added to a pitcher of water and ice. Thinly slice an orange and a lemon. Tear into small pieces a handful of mint leaves. Add ingredients to a pitcher, cover with ice, and let sit overnight. Simply add 4 quarter-sized pieces of fresh peeled ginger root. Add in a cup of fresh or frozen mango, cover with ice and water, and let it sit in the refrigerator 1 to 3 hours before serving. Add half a sliced lemon, 6 to 8 strawberries pulled and quartered, and a handful of basil to a pitcher. Cover with ice and fill with water. Let it infuse for 2 to 3 hours and serve. 4 handfuls of thinly sliced grapes, 20 to 24 basil leaves, a squeeze of lime, and fill with water. Add watermelon and mint to a pitcher, cover with ice, and fill with water. Let it sit for 2 to 8 hours and serve. There you have just a few ideas of how to infuse your water and make hydration fun. Think outside of the bottle.
Last summer, I did the watermelon mint, and I loved that. I grow mint and had gotten watermelon, and it was really great. And the kids even got really excited about it too. I think one of the videos wants to keep on playing. Let me get that stopped.
So much anticipation.
Okay. Okay, so we've looked a little bit at mindfulness. We've looked a little bit at menu with what it is that we drink and ways to reduce the sugar and the things that we drink. And drinking water is great for us. And, Abby had talked a little bit more about drinking water in her presentation. And then I thought, well, what else have we covered? What else have we covered this spring? And then movement. And I know on those days that we go to college, for those of us that are working at the campus, I move a whole lot more when I'm at my office, just even taking things from the parking lot back up to the office and going to get mail and that sort of thing. But then when I'm at home, I find myself, well, I pretty much sit down in one space and get up for the restroom or to get another glass of water or something. And that's just about it. And I know I feel better if I drink water, if I eat well, if I'm mindful, and if I incorporate movement. And I found it's a 11-minute desk stretches, and they were very simple to do, very easy to do. So I thought I would share that video with us as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My TPS report is coming. I just got to do my stretches first. Okay. Hey, everybody, it's Dr. Joe. And today I'm going to show you some stretches and exercises you can do at your desk if you're at work. You don't really have a lot of opportunity to get up and move around. So let's get started. Disclaimer work. So I've got my timer with me so you can follow along. The first thing that I would do if I was sitting for a long time is doing some sit to stand just to get everything moving to start off with. So I'm just going to start off with 5. Spread your feet out just a little bit. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's gotten everything moving a little bit, the pressure off my bottom. And then now I'm just going to do a little rotational stretch. I'm just going to hold these for about 5 seconds on each side. So if you've got your chair here, just kind of grab onto it and rotate one way and just hold that for about 5 seconds. And then rotate back the other way, holding that for about 5 seconds. And then 3 on each side. Just about 5 seconds, just getting that rotation in there, kind of stretching that spine just a little bit. Might feel a little pop in there. That's okay as long as it's not a painful pop. That's fine. Sometimes those bones need to realign a little bit, and sometimes it feels good. It takes a little pressure off of everything. Just kind of stretching there, and then one more on the other side. And then the next one, if you're doing a lot of typing and moving your hands around, you want to probably stretch out the forearms a little bit. So just same thing, it's going to be just about a 5-second hold. You can either just go down, or I'm going to get up a little bit of pressure, just a kind of a 5-second again, holding that. And then changing sides. You can curl your fingers in, that'll make it a little bit tighter, or you can keep them straight depending on how tight those forearm muscles are. So this is a little bit less of a stretch. That's a little bit more of a stretch. And then we're just going to do 3 on each side, kind of getting everything stretched and loosened up. Luckily, I don't have to sit a whole lot throughout the day, but I do have to do a lot of documentation writing on computers. So I know how the wrists feel when you're doing all that typing and stuff. So taking the time to stretch everything out is usually really, really nice. And then going back the other way. So it's the opposite with this. If your fingers are up, that stretches a little bit more, versus if you make a fist, that doesn't stretch quite as much. So depending on how tight you are, this is stretching the bottom part a little bit. And again, you know, just about 5 seconds. It doesn't have to be super long, but just enough to kind of get everything loosened up in there a little bit. If you happen to be in a cubicle or have a wall next to you, you can put both hands against the wall and use that as the pressure as well, and then just hold those stretches and go along with me if you want. And then last stretch over here. That should those out a little bit. Now we're going to go back to the legs. So this time it's just going to be a little bit of a march. So we're going to do 10 on each side. You can usually just do 1 and then the other, alternating back and forth. Some people like to do them all on one side. I'm going to alternate. I like alternating. So just bringing it up. If you're at a desk, you might have a height where you might end up hitting your desk. So roll out just a little bit, or just go up to the top and try not to bang your knees into the desk. I'd say roll out just a little bit if you can. Doesn't have to be super high. Again, this is really just kind of getting everything moving. You've probably been sitting for a while concentrating, and you're just trying to get it loosened up and getting it going. So just kind of alternating back and forth. We'll do 1 more on each side. So that was for the hips. Let's go down to the knees a little bit. Same thing. Hopefully you have enough room underneath your desk, but if you don't, you can roll your chair back a little bit. And then this time, just kick straight out with a little pull up of your toes to help kind of lock everything out. So getting that kind of stretch on the end there, you'll feel that in your quads, getting that blood flowing and pumping, taking that little break. Because studies do show that if you take breaks, you're actually more productive. You can tell your boss that. Stretching and kicking. And I can feel my quad muscles kind of get a nice little burn in there. So you don't have to do a whole lot. You don't even have to have ankle weights. If you might have some with you at work, some people do, and then you can just throw those on if you need to. And then 1 more on each side. And then for the last one, I'm just gonna have you stretch your piriformis muscles, that glute area, because a lot of times if you're sitting, that can be pretty painful. So I'm gonna come back to the timer here. Just cross your leg over where your ankle is just above the opposite knee, where you're almost making a figure 4. And then you're gonna bring your upper body down towards your legs. So just coming this way. Try and keep your back fairly straight if you can. Some people can come down further than this. You should feel that stretch right kind of on that bottom area right there. Some people might be really tight and your leg might be up like this a little bit while you're stretching. That's okay. If you can, push on it a little bit, but this should be a good, comfortable stretch. It shouldn't be painful. So if it's a little painful, come back off of it a little bit. If you have any piriformis issues or sciatic issues, that might give you a little bit of numbness and tingling down your leg. That's okay, as long as it kind of goes away. As soon as you release it, then you're stretching out those muscles to helpfully get that to go away. So then stretching again, just holding it there. The good thing about this one is if you really are in a hurry and you need to do some more work, you can actually still kind of type while you're doing this, but make sure you're not hunched over while you're doing it. Still try and keep some good proper technique, but you are able to do some other stuff while you're doing this. So that's good. And again, you can just kind of set your elbow on your knee to get that little bit of an extra stretch in there, but don't feel like you have to. This should be whatever is comfortable for you. I'm lucky enough to be a little more flexible because I work on it. But if not, that's okay. You just go at your own pace. I'm going to do one more on that side. Make sure you're bringing that foot down each time to kind of reset all those muscles. And if the boss comes by, you just imagine that you're thinking, yes, I'm working on those TPS reports. And then while you're pushing down and giving that extra stretch in there. These are good to do anywhere too. You don't necessarily just have to do them at a desk. If you're at a desk job, you can do it, throughout the day, anywhere. Even if you do walk a lot, you want to stretch all these out and exercise them a little bit to keep that blood flowing. So now we're going to switch to the other side. So bringing that one up. This one's a little bit tighter for me since I've had surgery on my hip in the past, but still same thing, pushing down with your elbow a little bit and bringing your body forward. Some people like to try and go down to the ground. I like keeping the back straight. I feel like that gives you a little bit more of a stretch. And if you don't have a lot of room at your desk, you don't want to hit your head on the top of your desk. So just nice stretch. Feel that. You'll feel that, again, kind of in the bottom area. And relax it. Kind of reset it. Shake it out if you need to. And then start again. It's all quiet. You can think about other things besides work for a little bit, like what you're going to have for dinner or what you're going to have for a snack after you finish your stretches and exercises. Take a nice deep breath in. Let all that stress out. Nice and relaxed. Go back into it. Nice and stretched out. You can take the dog hair off of your socks if you need to, if you see that in there. We call them the little goodbyes. They're leaving us little goodbyes throughout the day so we don't forget about them. And this, glitter, dog hair is my glitter. It's very nice. Big stretch, last stretch here. And then the last thing that I would have you do is just to make sure that if you're sitting for a long time, you want to keep the calves moving too. You don't want to have any issues of DVTs or anything. So a really simple thing to do is then just take your feet and go up and then come back. So just 10 of those up and back to make sure that that calf is working as a natural pump to keep the blood flowing. And just do about 10, but back and forth, just to make sure everything in your body is kind of working and stretching out. And again, this is something that you can do throughout the day. You don't necessarily have to stop to do it because you can still do your work while you're pumping those ankles, which is nice. So there you have it. Those were some stretches and exercises that you can do at work. And this was real time. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. If I check out some other videos, go to AskDrJoe.com. And remember, it's safe, have fun. I hope you feel better soon.
Okay, as I was looking for information for today's session, I also found some links on the benefits of drinking water and some overall nutrition. But I think that if we were to explore all of those, it would take a little bit longer than the
Waiters always look at me and think that I'm going to have a little salad, maybe a soup, and that'll be the whole meal. And when I do my actual...
Sorry about that. I thought that I had stopped the video player there and I hadn't. So where we don't have necessarily enough time to look at the other videos on like water and I've got some resources on snacks and that sort of thing, I will share them on the Workplace Wellness page. So they will be there later this afternoon for anybody to access them there. So that pretty much concludes my presentation today, touching on those 3 M's that we focused on with Workplace Wellness this spring, looking at mindfulness, menu, and movement. So thank you for joining us, and I hope everybody really enjoys their weekend. I'm going to look at we've got a few things here in the chat. Oh, working on flowers. Yes, I've been doing that some too, and I absolutely love to do that. I see Wanda's also working on her flowers, enjoying the sunshine. Very cool. So you all have a wonderful weekend. It was great seeing you today, and yeah, we'll have another session next week, and then from there, the Wellness Committee is going to meet, and we'll look at scheduling more sessions for the future. Okay, have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Jenny. Bye.
Bye-bye.